Rain poured from the sky as Alina stood alone outside the school gates. Drops rolled down her dark hair, soaking her school uniform. Around her, other students laughed and ran into warm cars, into the arms of waiting parents. But Alina stood still, silent. She had no one coming for her, just like every day. She didn't cry. She had forgotten how to cry. Alina lived with her aunt, a woman who spoke very little and smiled even less. Their house was small, quiet, and cold, like a place full of forgotten memories. Her room had only a bed, a small desk, and one box. A locked box. It was the only thing her father had left behind. She kept it under her bed, untouched, unopened. The key had gone missing long ago. At school, Alina was invisible, or at least she tried to be. She sat at the back of the class, spoke only when asked, and walked with her head down. But being quiet didn't stop the bullying. "Hey, ghost girl, looking for your daddy again," a boy teased one afternoon. The class laughed. Alina didn't answer. She just looked at the floor, her fists clenched tight. Nobody knew the truth, not even Alina. Her father had disappeared when she was just 6 years old. One day, he kissed her forehead, told her to be brave, and never came back. Some said he was dead. Others said he ran away. Her aunt never spoke of him, not even once. But Alina remembered things, strange things, like how he taught her to read codes when she was only 5, how he asked her to memorize maps, how he showed her how to spot hidden cameras. It was like he had been preparing her for something. One night, while the wind howled outside, Alina sat on her bed holding the box. She felt something inside the lining of her backpack, something small and hard. Her fingers found a tiny metal key sewn into the corner. Her eyes widened. Her heart beat fast. Was it the key? She slid out the box and slowly placed the key into the lock. It fit. Click. The lid creaked open. Inside was a velvet cloth wrapped around something heavy. She unwrapped it carefully and found a coin. But this was no normal coin. It was black and silver, with an eagle printed on one side, and the letters CIA stamped below it. She had seen that symbol before, in her father's old books. It was the Central Intelligence Agency. But what was a CIA coin doing in her father's box? Under the coin was a folded paper. She opened it with shaking hands. It had only 2 words written in her father's handwriting. "They're watching." Alina's room suddenly felt colder. The air seemed thicker. Who was watching, and why? That night, she couldn't sleep. Her mind was filled with questions. Had her father really been a spy? Was that why he disappeared? Did someone take him? The next morning, she walked through school like a ghost again. But something was different now. She felt like someone was following her. From the corner of her eye, she saw a man standing across the street. He was wearing a long coat and a cap pulled low. His face was hard to see, but his eyes, she could feel them watching her. She blinked, and he was gone. That evening, when she returned home, the lights were off. Her aunt was supposed to be back already. Alina stepped inside slowly. The door was slightly open. On the floor, muddy footprints. Her hand shook as she reached for the kitchen knife. But the house was empty. On the table, someone had left a note. No name, no signature. Just 5 words. "You are not alone, Alina." Her fingers trembled as she picked it up. Who had been in her house? Who knew her name? And why did this feel like the beginning of something dangerous? She ran upstairs and opened the box again. She turned the coin over in her hand. Something about it didn't feel right. It was heavier than it looked. She held it up to the light. There was a small crack along the edge. Carefully, she twisted it. Click. The coin opened like a tiny case. Inside was a chip. A memory chip. Alina stared at it, heart pounding. Her father hadn't left her nothing. He had left her a message, a key to his secrets, a key to the truth. And now, someone knew she had it. The night was quiet. Too quiet. Alina sat on her bed, holding the strange coin, now open, revealing the small memory chip. Her heart raced. Every sound in the house made her jump. Was someone outside? Was someone watching her? Her aunt hadn't returned home yet. The house creaked with every gust of wind. The old wooden windows rattled. Shadows moved on the walls, but nothing was there. She stared at the chip in her hand. It was no bigger than a fingernail, but she could feel its weight, like it held 1,000 secrets. Her father's secrets. Alina remembered the note from earlier. "You are not alone, Alina." Who left it? How did they know her name? And what did they want? Suddenly, she heard it. Footsteps. Not loud, just soft enough to question if they were real. She held her breath. The footsteps stopped outside her door. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden under her pillow and moved slowly toward the door. Her hands were shaking. She pressed her ear to the wood. Silence. Then, tap, tap, tap. Someone was tapping on the door. Not knocking. Tapping, slowly. She flung the door open. No one was there. Her heart pounded in her chest. She looked left, right. Still no one. She checked all the windows. Locked. Then she saw something new on the floor outside her room. Another note. This one was typed. "Don't trust anyone. They're looking for the chip." Her blood ran cold. She turned it over, blank. That night, she couldn't sleep. The memory chip was hidden inside her school locker now, just in case. But her mind wouldn't rest. She kept thinking about her father. She remembered flashes, his serious eyes, the way he always checked the door twice, how he taught her to listen for sounds most people ignored. Back then, she thought he was just being careful. Now she realized he was training her. But for what? The next day at school, nothing felt normal. She could feel eyes on her. She sat quietly in class, pretending to write. But her mind was somewhere else. A new substitute teacher entered the room. He was tall, thin, with sharp eyes that scanned the class too carefully. He said his name was Mr. Hale, but something about him didn't feel right. He didn't smile. And he looked at Alina just a second too long. Her instincts screamed. Her fingers curled tightly around her pen. At lunch, she walked out into the field behind the school. It was the only place that felt safe. Until today. She sat under the same tree she always did. But someone was already there. It was a woman, maybe in her late 30s. She wore dark sunglasses and was pretending to read a book. Alina turned around to leave, but the woman spoke. "You look just like him," she said softly. Alina froze. "What?" "Your father," the woman said, still not looking up. "He trained me too, a long time ago." Alina's legs felt weak. "Who are you?" The woman finally looked up. "A friend. One of the few he trusted." "Then why didn't he come back?" Alina's voice cracked. The pain she had buried for so many years was rising. "He tried," the woman said, "but something went wrong. He disappeared during a mission. No one could find him. Many believed he was dead. But he's not," Alina whispered. "Is he?" The woman didn't answer right away. "Not everyone in the agency is good, Alina. Your father found out something. Something dangerous. That chip." "How do you know about the chip?" Alina asked, stepping back. "I told you," the woman said calmly. "He trusted me. I'm here to help. But others will come too. And they won't be kind." "Who are they?" "They're not just ex-agents," she replied. "They're something worse. They're people who were supposed to protect the country. But now, they're protecting secrets. Secrets your father tried to reveal." Alina looked down. Her hands were shaking. The woman placed a small card on the bench. "When you're ready to know the truth, come here." Alina looked at the card. A location. A name. The Lantern House. When she looked up again, the woman was gone. That evening, Alina's aunt finally returned home. But something felt strange. She didn't ask Alina where she had been. She didn't mention the muddy footprints from the night before. She just went into her room and locked the door. Alina sat in her room with the box on her lap. Suddenly, she remembered something. A sound. A click. She looked up. Her door was slowly opening on its own. There, in the dark hallway, stood a man. His face was hidden, but he was tall, strong, and silent. "Alina," he said in a calm, deep voice. "Come with me." Now. Alina stepped back. "Who are you?" He raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here because your father sent me." Her heart stopped. And then he said the words that changed everything. "Your father is alive." Alina stared at the man standing in the doorway. His eyes were calm, but alert. His clothes were black, and a faint scar ran across his cheek. He looked like a soldier, strong, trained, and dangerous. "You're lying," she said quietly. "My father's dead." "No," the man replied. "He's not. But if we stay here any longer, you might be." Alina felt frozen. Her mind raced. Could this really be true? Was her father alive? "Who are you?" she asked again, backing away. "My name is Cole," the man said. "Your father trusted me. I was part of his team before everything went wrong." Alina didn't move. Her fingers brushed against the handle of the knife on her bedside table. "If you want to run, I won't stop you," Cole said. "But they're coming. And they won't be as kind as me." "Who's coming?" she whispered. He glanced toward the window. "People who want that chip. People who believe your father told you everything." "I don't even know what's on it," she said. "I know," Cole replied. "But they don't care. They think you're a threat. And they're already watching." Alina's breath caught in her throat. Suddenly, a loud crack came from the back of the house. A window shattered. Cole's expression changed instantly. "We have to go. Now." He grabbed a small bag from his coat and handed her a black hoodie. "Put this on. Cover your face. We go out the back." Alina had no choice. Her aunt was asleep, possibly drugged. She didn't know who to trust anymore. She followed Cole down the hallway. Every shadow felt like a trap. They climbed out the kitchen window and ran through the backyard into the night. Rain had started to fall again. Cold. Sharp. Like the world was trying to wash her away. They reached an old car parked under a tree. Cole drove without speaking. Alina sat quietly, trying to make sense of everything. "Where are we going?" she finally asked. "To someone who can help you," he said. "She was your father's best friend. She's been waiting for this day." Alina looked out the window. Dark forests blurred past. The city lights faded behind them. After what felt like hours, they stopped in front of a large abandoned warehouse. Rust covered the walls. A broken sign hung above the door. It looked like the kind of place people forgot. Cole led her inside. There, standing in the center of the empty room, was the same woman from the park. "You," Alina whispered. The woman smiled. "Welcome to the other side of your life, Alina." Her name was Eva. She didn't waste time. "I know this is a lot," Eva said gently. "But your father trained you for this moment. He knew the day would come when the truth had to be passed on." "What truth?" Alina asked. "Why did he leave? Why didn't he come back?" Eva sighed. "Your father, Mark Rain, was one of the top field agents in the CIA. But he found something dark inside the agency. A secret mission called Project Eclipse. It was never supposed to exist." Alina's eyes narrowed. "What was it?" "An off-the-record operation," Eva explained. "Kidnappings, weapons testing, illegal experiments. Your father tried to stop it, but when he got too close, they turned on him." "So he ran?" Alina asked. "No," Eva said. "He disappeared. We thought he was dead. But then, 2 months ago, I got a signal. A message only he could send. He's alive, but trapped. Somewhere deep in the system." Eva reached into her coat and pulled out a small device. This is a decoder. It reads the chip your father left you. We believe it contains part of the location he's being held. Alina took out the chip from her pocket and handed it to her. Eva carefully inserted it. The screen lit up. Lines of code filled the device. Then a map appeared. A red dot blinked near a place called Ashfield, far from the city. It's him, Eva said softly. He's reaching out. We have to go there. Alina stepped back. You want me to help break into a government facility? Eva looked her in the eyes. You don't have to, but you're the only one he truly trusted. You're his daughter. You're stronger than you know. Alina sat down, overwhelmed. I just wanted a normal life. I know, Eva said gently, but you were never meant to be normal. Suddenly, a loud beeping came from Cole's watch. They found us, he said. Eva's face turned serious. We have to move. We leave tonight. Alina looked at the map. At the blinking red light, her father was alive, waiting. And now, it was her turn to fight for him. The wind howled through the trees as the van sped down the empty highway. Alina sat in the back, wrapped in a thick jacket, her eyes fixed on the blinking red dot on the map. Her father was somewhere out there, alive, waiting. Cole was driving. Eva sat beside him, watching the road like a hawk. Every few minutes, she checked the rearview mirror. They might be following, she said. No one's close yet, Cole replied. But they will be. They always are. Alina didn't speak. Her heart was a storm. Fear, hope, confusion, all at once. Just a few days ago, she was just a quiet schoolgirl. Now she was part of something much bigger, something dangerous. After hours of driving, they reached the edge of a forest near a small town called Ashfield. There was no sign, no lights, just thick trees and a narrow dirt path that led deeper into the woods. This is the place, Eva said, holding up the device. The signal is strong. He's close. They left the van behind and continued on foot. The forest was dark, the moon hidden behind clouds. Alina stayed close to Cole. Every crack of a branch made her jump. After an hour of walking, they reached a clearing. Hidden beneath overgrown bushes was a trapdoor made of metal. Eva knelt beside it. Help me clear this. They pulled back the plants and wiped away the dirt. On the door was a symbol, a black eagle, the same one on the CIA coin her father left her. Cole pulled the handle. It creaked open. A narrow stairway led underground. Alina's breath caught. What is this place? It was a safe house, Eva said, used during secret operations. Only a few agents knew it existed. They descended into the darkness. Below was a small bunker, lit by dim emergency lights. Dust covered everything. There was a desk, old papers, and a wall filled with maps and photos. Most of the electronics were broken, but a single monitor blinked with a red light. Eva rushed to it and inserted the chip again. The screen came to life. Alina stepped closer. A video file appeared, labeled for Alina. Her heart nearly stopped. Play it, she whispered. Eva clicked the file. The screen flickered. And then, there he was. Her father. Older, tired, wearing a black jacket. But it was him. He looked straight into the camera. If you're seeing this, it means I failed to return, he said. His voice was calm, but there was pain behind it. Alina, I'm sorry. I never wanted this life for you, but now you're in it. And you deserve the truth. Alina's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't look away. I was part of a secret mission, Project Eclipse. We were told it was about national defense, but we were wrong. They were creating something dangerous. Not just weapons, mind control tech, illegal experiments on civilians, even children. I tried to stop it, and for that, they locked me away. The video glitched for a moment, then returned. There's a facility, hidden in Ashfield, underground. That's where they're keeping me. If you want to find me, you'll have to break in. But it won't be easy. They have security systems, guards, and worse. People who used to be my friends. He leaned closer. You're stronger than they know, Alina. Smarter than they expect. Use what I taught you, and don't trust anyone who works for Eclipse. Not even those who say they left. The screen went dark. Silence filled the bunker. Alina wiped her eyes. We have to go there. We have to get him out. Cole nodded. We will. But we need a plan. Over the next few hours, they studied the old maps and notes her father had left behind. The facility was deep underground, hidden beneath an old warehouse outside town. There were 3 entry points, but only one wasn't guarded by sensors, a ventilation tunnel through the woods. That's our way in, Eva said. We'll go tomorrow night, Cole added. We need darkness. They camped inside the bunker. Alina lay awake on the cold floor, staring at the ceiling. Her mind was full of thoughts. Why her? Why had her father trusted her with all this? Then she remembered his words from the video. You're stronger than they know. The next evening, they moved silently through the forest toward the facility. Cole had stolen blueprints, and Eva carried old agent IDs to help them blend in if needed. At last, they reached the tunnel. It was narrow, dirty, and dark. Alina had to crawl through, her heart pounding with every step. They emerged behind a large generator building. Just beyond it was the entrance to the underground prison. Cole turned to her. This is it. Once we're in, everything changes. Alina nodded. I'm ready. They moved as shadows, silent and fast. But as they reached the door, something unexpected happened. A loud alarm went off. Red lights flashed. Voices shouted. They had been discovered. Run, Cole yelled. But before they could move, armed guards surrounded them. Alina's heart stopped. One of the guards stepped forward and pulled off his helmet. It was a face she never expected to see. Her aunt. You should have stayed out of this, Alina, she said coldly. Now, you'll never leave. Alina couldn't move. She stared at her aunt, Aunt Miriam, standing in full black combat gear, holding a gun like she had done it 100 times before. You're with them, Alina whispered. Her aunt's cold smile grew wider. There's a lot I didn't tell you. Cole stood in front of Alina, shielding her. Eva reached for her weapon, but several guards raised theirs. They were trapped. Aunt Miriam stepped closer. You were never supposed to find the chip. Your father made sure of that. But somehow you did. And now, here you are, just like him, always digging where you shouldn't. You lied to me my whole life, Alina said, voice shaking. No, Alina. I protected you, she said. I raised you when your father vanished. I kept you away from this world. But you had to go looking, didn't you? You said he was dead. Alina shouted. You let me believe that. Because it was easier, Miriam said. Easier than telling you your father was a traitor. Alina's fists clenched. He wasn't a traitor. He was trying to stop something evil. Miriam's eyes darkened. You don't understand the world, Alina. People like me, like your father, we make hard choices. Project Eclipse was meant to protect this country. He didn't agree with the methods, so he became a threat. Alina shook her head. So you locked him away. I saved his life, Miriam said flatly. Others wanted him dead. I convinced them to keep him alive. For leverage. For you. Alina felt her knees weaken. Her own aunt, family, was part of the reason her father disappeared. She looked at Eva and Cole. Both had gone quiet, watching, waiting for a chance. You were working with Eclipse all along, Eva said. But why now? Why reveal yourself? Because I need her, Miriam said, eyes on Alina. The chip was only half the key. The rest is in her blood. Her DNA. Mark embedded the final passcode in his daughter. Cole's face turned pale. That's why he trained her. Miriam nodded. He didn't just teach her to survive. He made her the key. Alina couldn't believe what she was hearing. So what now? You take me and force me to unlock something I don't even understand. You'll understand soon, Miriam said. She signaled the guards. In seconds, Alina, Cole, and Eva were handcuffed and marched inside the facility. The underground hallway was cold and metallic. Red lights pulsed on the walls like a heartbeat. They were separated and locked in different cells. Alina's cell was small, with only a metal bench and a single camera watching her every move. She sat alone, staring at her shaking hands. Was her whole life a lie? A few hours passed. Then the door opened. Miriam walked in, alone. She sat on the bench beside Alina and sighed. You know, I used to change your diapers. I taught you how to ride a bike. You weren't supposed to become this. Alina didn't respond. Miriam continued. Your father wanted you far away from this world, but he made a mistake. He made you too smart, too curious. Why are you really doing this? Alina asked quietly. It's not just about protection, is it? Miriam's smile faded. Because I believe in eclipse. Yes, some parts went wrong. But the vision, the power to control chaos before it happens, it could save millions. At what cost? Alina asked. Miriam leaned closer. Sometimes, saving the world means losing the ones you love. She stood and turned to leave. Alina looked up. I will never help you. Miriam paused. We'll see. As the door shut, Alina reached into her boot and pulled out a tiny object. Something Cole had secretly slipped into her hand during the capture. It was a miniature lockpick. Her father had taught her how to use one. She worked quickly and quietly. After a few tries, the cuffs clicked open. She was free. Across the hallway, she saw Cole in his cell, bruised but alert. Eva was nearby, watching her through a small crack in her cell door. Alina gave them a quick nod. It was time to escape. She moved through the hallway like a shadow, avoiding the cameras. She remembered everything her father taught her. Move quietly, stay in the blind spots, use sound to your advantage. She found the control room and took out the single guard with a swift strike, using a fire extinguisher. Inside, she accessed the cameras. She scanned through dozens of rooms until she found one. Room 42. There, sitting in the corner, chained to the floor, was her father. Alina gasped. He looked tired, thin, but his eyes, they were still strong, still him. She memorized the location and began unlocking Eva and Cole's cells one by one. Once they were free, they moved as a team. We get your father, Cole said. Then we get out. Eva handed Alina a weapon. This time, we fight back. They made their way through the lower levels, avoiding guards, knocking out those who got in the way. At last, they reached room 42. The door was guarded by 2 soldiers. Alina didn't hesitate. She threw a smoke bomb and rushed in with Cole and Eva. A few quick moves, and the guards were down. She ran into the room and stopped. Dad? Mark Rain looked up. He smiled. You found me. Alina ran to him, dropping to her knees. Tears spilled from her eyes. I'm here. I'm really here. He touched her face gently. You did good, baby. I'm proud of you. Before they could speak more, an alarm blared. Miriam's voice echoed through the halls. They have him. Stop them at any cost. Mark stood, his eyes burning with fire. We're not done yet, he said. Let's end this. Alina's heart raced as she helped her father to his feet. His hands were bruised, his face thinner than she remembered, but his eyes were sharp. Focused. You came for me, he said, almost in disbelief. I had to, she replied. You left me the clues. I followed them. Mark Rain smiled faintly. I knew you would. You were always stronger than you believed. Cole scanned the hallway outside the cell. We don't have much time. They'll send everything they've got. We need an exit, Eva said. Now. Mark nodded. There's an old elevator shaft 2 floors up. It's off-grid. They won't expect us to use it. They moved fast, through the metal corridors, up hidden stairways, past doors locked for years. Alina stayed close to her father, her mind swirling with questions, but there was no time to ask. All that mattered now was getting out alive. Suddenly, gunfire echoed behind them. The lights flashed red again. "They're close," Cole shouted. Alina ducked as bullets hit the wall near her head. Eva fired back with precision, forcing the guards to take cover. They'd reached the shaft. Mark pried open the old door with a metal rod. Inside was a rusted elevator car that hadn't moved in years. A cable hung loosely from above. "We'll have to climb," he said. Alina stared up the narrow shaft. It looked endless. Cole helped boost her up. "You can do it." Hand over hand, she climbed the cable, ignoring the pain in her arms. Behind her, Cole and Eva followed. Her father came last, his body weak, but his will unbroken. Just as Mark reached the top, an explosion rocked the building below. The elevator door at the top burst open. And there she stood, Miriam, holding a gun, eyes full of rage. "It's over," she shouted. "You're not going anywhere." Everyone froze. Alina stood in front of her father. "Don't do this." "I raised you, Alina," Miriam screamed. "I protected you. And this is how you repay me." "You lied to me," Alina replied. "You locked up my father. You used me. I gave you a chance at a normal life." Miriam's voice cracked. "But you chose this path, just like him." She pointed the gun straight at Alina. And then, bang, the shot rang out. But it didn't hit Alina. Eva had fired first. Miriam dropped her weapon and fell to the ground, unconscious, alive, but stopped. Everyone stood in silence, breathing hard. "Let's move," Mark said, his voice calm. They escaped into the woods, finding an old truck hidden in a field nearby. By the time the Eclipse team realized what happened, they were long gone. 2 days later, they were safe. In a hidden cabin in the mountains, surrounded by snow and trees, Alina finally sat with her father. The fire crackled beside them. "I have so many questions," she said. "I know," Mark replied, "and I'll answer everyone." "Why me? Why did you make me the key?" He looked at her gently. "Because I trusted no one else. They could steal files, destroy evidence, but they couldn't change your blood." He pulled out a small device, the same one Eva had used before. "This," he said, "is the final part of the chip." He pricked her finger and placed a drop of her blood into the scanner. The device whirred, then beeped. A hologram appeared, showing a full map of Eclipse headquarters. Every room, every hidden vault, every secret experiment. "This is the real truth," Mark said. "With this, we can expose everything. The world will know what they've done." "But it's dangerous," Alina said. "Yes," Mark nodded. "But it's the only way to stop them." Eva and Cole joined them by the fire. "We have contacts," Eva said. "Real agents, ones who believe in justice. We can get this to them." Alina looked at the map, then at her father, then at the snow outside. "They'll come after us," she said. "They'll never stop." Mark smiled. "Then we make them regret trying." Alina nodded slowly. She wasn't the scared girl standing alone in the rain anymore. She was her father's daughter. Snow fell gently outside the cabin. Inside, the fire burned low. Alina sat by the window, her eyes on the horizon. The world was quiet, but not for long. She knew Eclipse would come. They always did. This time, she would be ready. Behind her, Mark Rain, her father, prepared the final plans. He moved slower now, his body weak from years in the underground prison. But his mind, still sharp, still dangerous. Cole and Eva gathered gear, weapons, and devices. They had one shot to end Eclipse before it disappeared forever. Alina stood and turned to them. "Let's do this." Mark looked at her with pride. "You're not just part of the story anymore, Alina, you are the story. The plan. Eclipse headquarters was deep in the mountains, hidden beneath what looked like an abandoned mining site. But beneath the surface were walls of steel, labs full of secrets, and a server room that controlled everything. Their goal: break in, upload the files from Alina's DNA chip, and expose Eclipse to the world. They'll have guards, scanners, drones. Cole warned. We'll be outnumbered. We won't fight our way in, Eva said. We'll sneak in like shadows. And if they see us? Alina asked. Mark met her eyes. Then we finish what I started. The final mission. Dressed in black, faces masked, they hiked through the snowy cliffs under the cover of night. Alina carried the device with her DNA code. Around her neck, she wore her father's CIA coin, the one that started everything. As they reached the outer fence of the compound, Eva hacked the security grid. Click. The gates opened without a sound. They moved quickly. Through tunnels, past laser sensors, into the beast's heart. Every step was dangerous. At one point, Alina and Mark had to freeze in place as guards passed inches away. In that moment, Alina realized how far she had come. No fear, just focus. They reached the main control room. Inside was the master terminal. Eva rushed to it and inserted the chip. The screen lit up. Files appeared, videos, documents, secret experiments, the names of world leaders working with Eclipse. Alina's hand hovered over the upload button. Mark nodded. Do it. She clicked. A loading bar appeared. Uploading. 12%, 36%, 78%. Suddenly, boom. An explosion rocked the building. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. We've been spotted, Cole shouted. Mark turned to his daughter. Protect the upload, no matter what. Guards stormed in. Gunfire exploded through the air. Cole and Eva fought back, covering the door. Mark moved to defend Alina, but a bullet hit his shoulder. Dad, she screamed. He gritted his teeth. I'm fine. Keep going. 93%, 98%, 100%. Upload complete. Across the globe, the files began leaking. News stations, government websites, whistleblower channels. Eclipse's secrets were out. Time to go, Eva yelled. They ran toward the exit, but more guards blocked the path. Then Mark made a decision. He pulled Alina close. Go with them. I'll hold them back. No, she cried. We leave together. He smiled gently. You already saved me, Alina. Now save the world. He pushed her toward Cole and Eva. As they ran, Alina looked back. Her father stood tall in the smoke, fighting until the end. Aftermath. 3 days later, the world had changed. Eclipse was exposed. Leaders were arrested. Facilities were shut down. The name Mark Rain appeared in every news report, no longer as a traitor, but a hero. Alina stood at a quiet memorial in a mountain town. A stone plaque read, "To the man who fought in silence, and the daughter who made the world listen." Cole stood beside her. He'd be proud. Eva nodded. He always knew you'd be the one. Alina looked at the sky. He's not gone. He's part of me. She took out the CIA coin and placed it on the memorial. I'll keep going, she whispered. For him. 2 months had passed. The world moved on. Eclipse had fallen. Names were cleared. Hidden truths surfaced. But Alina Rain couldn't forget. Not the gunfire. Not the betrayal. Not her father's final stand. She still heard his voice sometimes, in dreams, in wind, in silence. And though she had saved the world, she wasn't done yet. A stranger in the rain. It was raining again, just like the day she opened the CIA coin box. Alina sat on a quiet bench in a park outside the city. Her eyes followed the drops running down her jacket sleeve. She hadn't spoken to Eva or Cole in days. Something in her heart had shifted. Suddenly, She noticed him. A tall man, in a gray coat, standing near the fountain. Watching her. He wasn't normal. She knew the signs. The way he scanned the crowd. The way his hands stayed hidden in his pockets. He was trained. She stood slowly, ready. The man walked toward her and placed a small envelope on the bench beside her. Then walked away. No words, no threat, just silence. Alina picked it up. The envelope had only one word: rain. Her heartbeat quickened. Inside, a black flash drive and a note written in code, her father's code. The hidden file. Back at her apartment, Alina plugged in the drive. Her screen blinked. Hello, Alina. It was a recorded video. Her father. Alive? No, it was pre-recorded, from before the final mission. If you're watching this, it means I'm gone, or you think I am. There's something I never told you, something bigger than Eclipse. Project Eclipse was a distraction. Alina leaned closer. The real threat is something I only found near the end. A silent war that never made the news. People pulling strings across continents, using data, AI, and fear to control nations. I called it Shadow Protocol. Her father looked tired, but determined. I left clues, not just in data, but in people. You've met some. You don't even realize it yet. Alina, I didn't raise you to fight my war, but I believe you're the only one who can finish it. The screen went dark. Then a file appeared. Legacy Protocol. Unlocked. Coordinates. Names. Coded documents. It wasn't over. It was only just beginning. Reuniting the team. Alina didn't wait. She called Eva. Then Cole. Both answered. No questions, just readiness. We said we'd fight back, Eva said. Let's do it. Where to? Cole asked. Alina sent them the coordinates, deep in a remote forest in Eastern Europe, a bunker built before the Cold War. Inside it, the heart of Shadow Protocol. The bunker. The journey was hard. Cold winds. No maps. No lights. But they found it. Half buried. Covered in vines. Rusted steel doors. Inside, darkness. Then motion-activated lights flickered on. Rows of old computers, locked cabinets, an old map with pins in every continent. On a dusty table, a folder labeled Alien, clearance level, unknown. Cole opened a cabinet. Inside, photos, not of Mark Rain, of Alina, from when she was 5, 10, even last year. They'd been watching you your whole life, Eva said, shocked. A screen nearby buzzed. A new message appeared. Welcome, Agent Rain. Shadow Protocol acknowledged. System unlocked. A countdown began. 24 hours until data release. What's going to happen? Cole asked. Eva scanned the files. This will crash systems in 11 countries. AI weapon programs, blackmail networks, entire private armies. And my name's on it, Alina whispered.